Morning guys, how we doing today? Today is Saturday, August 23rd, 2025. This morning, after milking and feeding calves here, just brought the tractor and mixer up. So it's up here for me to... So it's already up here for me to start mixing feed here after breakfast. I always start mixing while Dad's scraping around the bunk. So I just bring the tractor up here for me, that way it's already up here, and then I just gotta bring the skid loader up to load feed. We'll get a bale from up here, and then I'll bring some corn up and still feeding out of the bag up on top of the hill. You know, I haven't filmed feeding in a while, but it's getting down there. There's probably only, maybe 100 foot left. Maybe a little bit more than 100 foot left of that bag. It was a 300 footer, but we're feeding both of that to the cows and the heifers. It's okay silage. Cows are milking fine off of it, but we have some better silage in the silo. It's opened up now. We're just you gotta feed the junk feed off of the top first before we get down into the good stuff. But probably end up feeding that to the cows and finishing that bag for the heifers, and then we'll fill the trench this fall like we always do. Nice morning this morning. It's a bit foggy out though, as you can see, but fourth cutting alfalfa's ready to make here. Probably be next week. Summer's just about over, unfortunately. It's crazy how fast it went. Before I walk down over the hill, I do want to mention, still using the Pats 500. It's getting in pretty bad shape. The walls are getting thin, the sides are getting thin on the tub, and the screws starting to get pretty thin too. I do have a demo mixer coming out sometime. Not too sure when that's gonna be, but I'll try to film it if I'm here. The liner's getting in pretty bad shape coming out of there, and it's old. It's time for a new mixer. Should have updated it a while ago before we even went to the bother of putting the liner in it, because right now it's not really worth anything as far as trade-in value goes. But still not sure what we're gonna do yet. We're definitely getting a new mixer. Kind of thinking it's not gonna be a blue one though, but that's still up in the air. You'll see eventually what we ended up deciding to go with. It's worth trying out some here, seeing what we like best for grinding bales and whatnot. Grab the skid loader here. I was using it to move calf pens and clean the bank off down here. We moved a bunch of calves around here yesterday, and well, not yesterday but Thursday. We did move some around yesterday too. Clean these pens out and put them back in their pen, keep them nice and clean for them. And the 7 individual pens, I took them off there, and last night I washed 4 of them up. 3 more to wash sometime, but I wanted to get 4 of them ready. They have 4 calves to put in them. Just running up here in the shed for now because we didn't have pens for them, but they're pretty gross. Just as far as some milk there at the back, and manure and stuff, whatnot. Like to keep them clean for the calves. It's a lot more sanitary, a lot less prone to getting sick in a cleaner pen like that. Still gotta get the buckets cleaned up in the pens though. Have to wash them up with some Clorox and hot water, disinfect them, get them good and clean for the calves. But right now I got mixed feed. At least this Saturday here, the gale's on all 4 wheels. Last Saturday it was only on 3. This back wheel and axle and everything fell off. Dad was coming up through here with a scoop of corn, and it just come out. The snap ring that holds the axle and the housing, holds the axle and bearings and everything in there. The snap ring broke. Never had that happen before. We had them pop off on the New Holland skid loader, but never had them break on this one or the New Holland, which was something because they're a pretty heavy snap ring on this machine. What broke it, I have no clue, but the chain come forward and broke the one piece that holds the, it's like spacer there at the the sprocket where it comes off the drive motor. You got your sprocket going, the chain going to the back sprocket, and you got a chain coming to the front there. At the two sprockets, there's a piece that holds them back in, and it come up and snap those bolts off. So I had to take the side of the skid loader apart to fix that this week, but that wasn't too big of a deal. It's just crazy because we never had anything like that happen before. But what broke that snap ring, I have no clue. This wear and tear of the machine, I guess. It's got 11,000 hours on it, so there really ain't no shame for it. We'll get back to the calf pens later on. I have this spear and this piece of pipe for moving them. We'll set that to the side and go up on the hill and get a bale grinding up. We'll have to come back down. The bucket's up there at the bag, and get a scoop of high moisture corn and take up that to the mix. Actually feeding some first cutting alfalfa from previous year, and this is fourth cutting from last year. We're feeding both. We rotate between the two each day, so we feed one of these a day and one of those a day. But one thing about these bales I do not like is all these weeds. There's no way to control them because you got all these bales here. It's not like you can get in between them to spray, or you can't get in there to weed eat. Be a lot of weed eating. Me personally, I'm not crazy about the whole bale idea and the whole bale grinding idea with using a mixer to grind the bales, because over this past year I've seen how bad this is. This mixer is wearing out, and how much the cows are disliking eating the feed, that it's not chopping it up real fine. If you have a good mixer that grinds nice, that's good and all, but you can't beat chopping your hay, because it's less wear on the mixer. The cows are gonna want to eat it more because it's chopped real fine. It's chopped finer than the mixer will ever get it. Any mixer, as far as I'm concerned. The older I get, the more I sit back and think about, you know, how can we do things differently. That's one of those things that I could foresee in the future. Hopefully someday maybe we could have our own pull type chopper. But then you gotta have wagons, you gotta have a bagger. But then we're not wearing out a round baler either, and we're not wearing out a skid loader and a wrapper, and we're not having to pay someone to come custom wrap our hay. There's many different ways of looking at it, but I really do think you gotta keep milking cows. Should definitely look into starting to chop some of our hay, at least, if not all of it, at least the alfalfa. Still keep the baler for some grass hay and corn fodder and whatnot, but it's just gonna save so much on a mixer. You're not gonna have to replace a mixer as often or do as much repair work as far as putting knives in, less maintenance. That thing right there is gonna love not having to grind bales every day. That power takeoff inside that tractor, grinding bales, you know, 1800 RPM, tractor sitting there revving. It's hard on a power takeoff with a bale turning in there all the time. It's just so much better, so much easier on everything to have it chopped. But with that being said, we gotta keep doing things the way we're doing it for now and making it work. Walking back up here to get this tractor mixer. I did end up ditching my mic. That's just, it's not gonna work. I like how I intended it to, or thought it would work. Thought maybe having the audio closer to me, clipped on the shirt, would work better. But what I really want is a better mic for my camera. Now I'm having trouble finding mics that actually hook to the camera and stay with the camera. All I can find is wireless mics. So if any of you guys know about that stuff, or know of any good mics that would be compatible with a GoPro Hero 9 Black, let me know down in the comments. But otherwise, I think I'm just gonna continue using this media mod like I always have. I personally don't see any problem with it. It's better than using the actual GoPro itself, but I still feel like at points and throughout the video, it's just not as good. And I was having trouble with some of my videos. Actually, the clips didn't have any audio to them at all. No clue why, but it's just one of them things that it really sucks having 3 videos now that have that poor audio. But at the time I was making videos, didn't have time to edit, so I didn't know that the audio sucked on them until I edited them. Now I have 3 that have poor audio, but it's just how it goes. I had to try it out just to see how it worked. Didn't really know how it would go for me, but now I know that it's not going to work for me. This 2090 is actually in need of some repair. Needs new head gaskets. The head gaskets give away on it. It's not overeating at all, but we're just using it for mixing feed. If we would take it out in the field and mow hay with it all day long, it would heat right up. But just for short periods of time mixing feed, it's all right. But the problem is we can't give up this tractor until we get the 2290 back. Still haven't got it back yet, so not sure when that's going to take place, but I really hope soon, because this thing here needs to get these head gaskets fixed, and we're going to have to tear into getting it set up for 30-inch rows and work on the front end and all that good stuff. Got these calves moved down here this morning. We had 3 that were in the shed. We had a bull calf that was born today, but he's still up there in the shed. He'll be going to the sale, so I didn't put him in a pen. He'll be all right up there. Plenty of room for him. But we got 2 red and white heifer calves here, and then we got this all red one. It's actually She's more Holstein than she is beef. Her mother, one of our pets, she's probably about 75% beef. Her mother is, but we just kept her around just because, why not? She'll milk someday. We milk her mother, and she milks pretty good. This will be about, I think, her 4th calf, so she's in her 4th lactation, and milks just like a Holstein as far as that goes. But next one down here is a black and white Holstein. She was doubled up with another one here behind the barn. In the big pens, we got a couple of beef calves. It's a Holstein and a beef calf in that pen. 2 beef calves there. Haven't showed the calves in a while, but it's just part of the everyday routine, just like milking, so I don't normally pick the camera up and think about filming. We moved some of these up to the heifer farm that were in this pen, so there's 3 in this lower pen here, Holstein heifer calves, and then in this pen here there's actually 3 linebacks, red and white linebacks, and a Holstein in there. And we also have another red and white lineback. It's in this first pen over here. She's there laying out in the sun. So we had quite a few linebacks there for a while. These here are just Holsteins, and then this one here actually was out of a good bull. I can't think of the bull's name off the top of my head, but very good sire lineback as far as that goes. It was artificially bred to one of our heifers that didn't get bred to our Angus bull, so Dad got the AI technician to come breed her, and really nice black and white lineback heifer calf that'll be in the barn milking someday, so looking forward to that. But other than that, yeah, just another rundown of the calves. I haven't showed you guys them in a while, but I thought it was interesting. We never normally have that many linebacks around here, especially the red and white ones. They're probably the rarest ones we have. The ones in the dairy herd are getting pretty thinned out. Don't have as many. A lot of times they'll be bull calves, and then we sell them off, and then everybody else is bred to Holstein, so the chances of having another lineback calf are pretty rare, so they don't get replenished back into the herd as fast as what the Holsteins do. But yeah, I thought it was pretty neat that we have 4 full red and whites here. Then we have that black and white one down there too. I do want to show you guys a little bit of something here. So I have talked about having an earned sprayer in the past, and actually about a month ago my dad made the decision to buy one, so we went and picked it up yesterday. 3 of us did. It's a crop care 750 gallon tank on it. That's the model too. It's a 750 TR 750, I believe. They still make these, but on the sprayers today they have the big like almost like a tractor tire, but a little narrower, had a big tall, so the sprayer would sit up a lot higher on the newer ones compared to these. But however, these have the tandem. I think with the tandems here there'll be a lot less compaction. I don't know, this will be more ideal for us because we farm hills, so I feel like the ones that sit higher up on those big tires would be a lot less stable as far as that goes. But I don't know, it's all gonna be a learning curve to us. The wiring is kind of jumboed up a little bit here. You have to get through that. There's some broken wires that must go against the power takeoff. But the sprayer did recently have a new pump. It was taken care of. They unhooked everything throughout the winter and ran, I think, RV antifreeze through it every time, so it didn't freeze throughout the winter. But they always said they unhooked everything, which right now all the hoses and that are unhooked from the valves and stuff. It's got 750 gallon tank on it. It's got the foamer marker system. It's got a place here where you dump your spray in, and turn it on, and it'll has an induction tank there is what they call that. So you turn it on, it'll pull the spray in and mix it. It has a freshwater tank over here, and then there's some sort of tank here too, I think, for fresh water. I don't know if you put your water in here, if you run a hose in there, but you can also, say we have a tank full of water, we can hook that up, have a pump it in that way too, which I think we're gonna look into that. But pretty simple controls on it here. Just 3 individual broom sections that you can shut off, and it's got 60-foot booms on it. That'll be about what size be perfect for us for the amount of acres we farm. It actually might be a little bit on the bigger side, but Dad got a good deal on it. We knew the guy that had it. They actually buy sawdust off of them, so it helps knowing people that have stuff like this. They had got a bigger sprayer and upgraded theirs. This was too small for what they needed a bigger tank. But I think we'll like it. It's in pretty good shape. The booms are, see, this one here's cracked actually. They did fix the booms in a couple places. It must be a little bit of a lighter built sprayer. Crop Care is a pretty big name. You see them, quite a few equipment dealers sell them, but made by Paul B. Zimmerman, if anybody's familiar with that. So you will be seeing a lot of this here in the future. We gotta get that 2090 set up to run the straddle 30-inch rows. It will be really nice to put this 125 in front of this. I got it all waxed up, looking nice. It would look nice in front of this machine, but that's just not gonna work because it has 2 wide tires on the front with the loader brackets. We can't flip the dishes on here because it won't be able to turn very sharp, and you gotta have something that'll turn fairly sharp. As far as the back wheels go, you can just flip the dish of your rim somehow and set it in further. But the other tractor we could use would be the 870. It would have to be narrowed up, have a little bit of narrow tires on, a little bit more narrow tires on it. The 2294, that's just it's too big. And same with the 2290, it's got 20.8s on the rear, and we do gotta do a little bit of work to the 2090 before it can be filled ready. I'd like to try to put brakes on it, but I'm not sure how that would go. But that'll be this winter's project. You guys have that to look forward to. We'll, however, be starting school. This will probably be technically my last day here for the summer. Full day. But I'll be here any other time than milk as far as that goes. I just won't be able to spend the full day here like I have in the summertime, which is kind of a bummer, but it's one of them things. Can't do nothing about it. I gotta go to school. Never liked school, but don't have too much of a choice. As far as that goes, it is my senior year, so I won't have to put up with that much longer, which is nice. But I will be able to go into school later. I was looking to try to get it set up so I could leave early and be here in the afternoon instead of the morning, but that's not, I don't think that's gonna work out for me. So it will be nice to maybe take some of my classes online. I think I will look into that. Spend as less of amount of time that I can at school, if that's possible. But I still will be taking welding, so I will have to go in for that. I won't be putting out as many videos as I did this summer. I have the time to make the videos, I just don't have time to edit. As far as right now, I don't have the time to edit. Now if you add school on top of that, that just makes it worse. But if I am home a little more often, not at school as much, I might be able to squeeze some videos in throughout the day along with my schoolwork. We'll see here. I won't let you guys down, but probably will taper off a little bit throughout this winter. Pick up again this spring when it comes to spraying. Try to get a lot of footage of that if I can, because it'll be something totally new for me and for you guys as far as the channel goes. So I do look forward to that. Looking forward to next year and what everything has to offer.